Chris Camp, the Whip guy, thank you so much for coming out. We know that you guys have a ton of stuff to do here at the Illinois State Fair and Conservation World, so we're really happy that you guys are going to spend a few minutes with us. Now, what you guys are going to see is a tribute that we like to pay to the old whip acts that came before us. Whip acts that some of you guys have probably heard of, folks like Whip Wilson, or people like Lash LaRue, who appeared right here at the Illinois State Fair back in the 50s and the 60s. We're also going to pay tribute to the family whip acts, people like the Claytons and the Cordons, who came here to America from Germany to perform with Ringling Brothers and Barnum and Bailey Circus. Now, before we start the show, what we want you guys to know is that we're actually here because of the generous contributions of a number of independently owned Illinois businesses, and we're going to bring them out here one at a time during our parade of sponsors, and we want you guys to utilize them, make them feel welcome, and give them your thanks. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for Micromedical Technologies on behalf of Habitat for Humanity. Ben, let's hear the music. All right, buddy. Habitat for Humanity of Sangamon County, making habitats into homes, one house at a time. Always looking for volunteers, so look them up online, Habitat of Sangamon County. Our good friends right over here, Pioneer Caramel Corn. It's not just kettle corn, it's caramel corn that's made in a kettle. Grab some. Right on. Hey, hold up your bag, sir. Hold up your bag. Right on. What a good job, guys. I'm happy for you. Ladies and gentlemen, Clayville, historic site. I grew up cracking whips as a kid out there. They are back up and going. We want you guys to see them in September at their fall festival. There's going to be all sorts of reenacting, turn-of-the-century crafts and vendors. So go out there. It's great family fun and entertainment. You know them. You love them. They're a legend here at the Illinois State Fair. That's right. It's Bosa's Concessions, world-famous corn dogs. That's right. You know you want one, so get one after the show. Wash it down with some popcorn. They're celebrating the second year here in Conservation World, so we want you guys to make it worth their while. Now, after you eat all that food, you're going to need to call Easter Day Plumbing. That's right. 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, emergency service, 527-8000. When you have a plumbing problem, you've got Easter Day on your side. In Campsville, Old Settlers Day is coming up in October. We will be there performing. Think 200 years ago, Campsville, on the river, all sorts of encampments, reenactments, old-time vendors, and great food. And, of course, Pioneer Caramel Corn will be there also. And at last, our in-kind sponsors who donate a lot of our signage and web material is Star Graphics and Media and LRS Web Solutions. Ladies and gentlemen, give these sponsors a big round of applause. Great job, kid. Now beat it. You all ready for the show? Yeah! Awesome. Let's get started. Check this out. How you doing? Awesome. Well, thank you so much for coming out. Again, my name is Chris Camp. They call me the Whip Guy. What you've just heard is the sound made by the American Style Board. Now, before I actually start the show, what I always like to do is I like to explain why it is that the whip makes this great big noise. So, in a minute, when we bring out America's only family whip cracking act, the Whip Cracking Daredevils, you guys will have a better understanding of some of the danger of these stunts that we're going to perform for you. Now, a lot of people think that the whip is making this noise because they assume it's probably just hitting something. And if you all watch closely, you will notice the whip does come down and make contact with the ground. But you'll also notice I cracked it right here. Right over this lady's head in the front row. And I didn't even hit you guys, did I? No. Ow! Yeah, okay. Don't do that, man. Come on. Wow. I'm actually getting better at that part of the show, so thank you for your help. So we've sort of established that the whip's not hitting anything around us like the ground or the young lady in the front row. But, by the way, you people in the second row, there's some really great seats, you kids. And ladies and gentlemen in the front row, you are pretty much just human shields at this point. So thanks for showing up. So the real reason the whip is making this great big noise is because the end of this whip is traveling nearly 900 miles an hour. What you're hearing is the very first man-made tool that can break the speed of sound. Whenever you hear that noise, the end of that whip, it's actually creating a very small sonic boom. Now, I know it's kind of hard to visualize, so I'll put it to you this way. Whenever you hear this, The end of that whip is traveling faster than most bullets, leaving the barrel of a gun. So when I crack it, you'll notice it's cracked somewhere safely away from me. I personally don't want to get hit with anything that moves faster than a speeding bullet. With that being said, because they do move so fast, whips are actually considered lethal weapons. They have been known to slice through flesh and to crush small bones. That hardly ever happens in my show. That's just information for you guys to take home with you. But because of that, they would never actually hit an animal, even though you would see cowboys using whips to drive cattle from one side of this great nation to the other. All they would do is scare them with the use of that noise. You see, if you actually hit an animal, you could do tremendous damage. Now, after a long day on a cattle drive, though, if a guy was really good with a whip, he might talk a cowpoke buddy into holding really still. And he'd light up a cigar, and after a little ash had accumulated on the end, he would pass it off to his cowpoke buddy. And then with a flick of the whip, he would cut the end of that ash off, working his way closer and closer to his good cowpoke buddy's face. And he had to be really careful because an ill-placed crack in the whip could not only scar his buddy for life, even worse, take out an eye and leave him blinded. Now, that being said, ladies and gentlemen, please give it up for the lovely Laura. Now, I'm not going to ask her to do that stunt, so I want to know by a round of applause, do you want to see me cut one of these targets out of my own hands while closing? Well, you guys want to see me cut one of these out of my own hands? Yeah. All right. Almost gave away the second trick, too. Now, hold on. We started out with a really easy one. Should I make it a little bit harder for the second one? You think so? How about if I tried it with my eyes closed? Would that be all right? Yeah? All right. Ladies and gentlemen, for your enjoyment, I will attempt to cut this flower out of my own hands while closing my eyes, and to make it quadruply difficult, not only will I close my eyes, but I will turn my body a full 180 degrees. That's right, my eyes are still closed. Thank you, folks. Should we bring in the lovely Laura? Yeah. Give her a big round, everybody. Now, I'll tell you what, this is just a little bit of warm-up. I want you to stand right here, girl. We're going to see how many times we can cut these flowers, little piece by little piece. Tell you what, hold on a second, babe. Awesome.
There's medicine for me.
All right, give her a big round, everybody. Now, how many people here have ever seen a man, not just any man, but a man who happens to be bald in this part of his head? Look to your left. I'm kidding. Ladies and gentlemen, there is no scientific evidence to back this up. However, this could be exactly how he got that way. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, kids, do not try this at home. Unless your mom and dad are gone. Thank you, folks. Now, what I'd like to do here for you next is a little musical number, because there's nothing more fun than one whip than two. I'm going to play a little song for you. It's a song that everybody knows, even though you may not know the name of it. You may not know who wrote it, but everybody here knows the melody. It sounds like this. Ba 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 ba. You know it, don't you? It's the Blue Danny Waltz, written by Johann Strauss. And today, I will play it using nothing more than two Australian stock whips and a kazoo. You probably don't know this, but this is actually the arrangement that Johann Strauss had written when he first came up with this song. I actually just found that out. I was online, and I read it on Wikipedia. That's why it's a whip crack and it's not a joke.
Attention conservation world, if there is a Nate Quibby or a member of his party, or a member of his party, we have your mega pass at the law enforcement tent located in the southeast corner of conservation world.
I'll be right back. Thank you. Now, as I mentioned earlier, what you're about to see is America's only whip-cracking family act. We want you guys to make him feel welcome. Ladies and gentlemen, please give it up for the lovely Lillian Rose. Right here, kid. You ready? Give her a big round of applause, everybody. Good job, kid. Now, folks, he's only 13 years old. He's the best-looking son we have left. Give it up for Benjamin Clay. Now, ladies and gentlemen, this part of the show, we like to pay tribute to the man named William Tell. If you don't know who he is, or if you've forgotten, he's a man who had 4 things. A young son, an apple, a bow and arrow, and a really crazy idea. That idea was this, that he would take his young son and he would place him up against a tree, and then he would rest that apple on top of his head. And then with that bow and arrow, he would take a steady aim. And when he was done, he'd let that arrow fly, and he would cut that apple right off the top of his young boy's head. Well, today, for your enjoyment, we were going to attempt this trick, but we decided we'd make it just a little bit more daring. Ladies and gentlemen, this trick is so extreme, of the utmost danger. It's so death-defying, we simply call it the cutthroat. Now you'll notice that flower is only inches away from his eyes, ladies and gentlemen. Only inches away from the tender young neck. You're probably thinking to yourselves, how in the world could you do this to your own flesh and blood? Well, ladies and gentlemen, relax. He's adopted. We can get more later. Sorry you had to find out that way. Benjamin, would you move to your left, please? Nobody, that's your right. That's your... Don't laugh, he's homeschooled, sir. Move to your right, actually, a little bit more. Give it up for Benjamin, ladies and gentlemen. Now, folks, we started out with 9 kids and we're down to 3. Give it up for the youngest one of the crew, Gabrielle Lane. Come here, kid, right here. Turn this way, please. Awesome. Nick, ready. Once, twice, 3 times. Give her a big round, everybody. Come on, Lily Rose. One more time with the comet, folks. Good job, kid. Now, this is probably the oldest whip-cracking stunt in the books. You see, when the whip-backs would come to town, the first thing they would do is they would grab the daily newspaper, not just one, they'd grab the whole stack. Then the lovely assistant would hold the paper out at arm's length, and the guy at the whip would cut it piece by piece until it got so small she could no longer hold it. Well, today, I'm going to be part of the holding along with Laura. Ben's going to do the cutting so we don't want to hold it, or he thinks he can lose his allowance. Now, folks, the smaller it gets, the louder you clap. That's right, your mom's wearing the gloves, kid. Give it up for Benjamin Clay, folks. Come on out here, little one. Now, whip cracking's not only for the big kids. Crack that whip, kid. You got a problem there? I think it's fine. Go ahead and finish it off. Finish it off.
Attention conservation world.
Let's finish it.
We have a lost child. He was lost from the cattle barns to the south. Conservation
Give her a big round, everybody.
Adam Phillips, 6 years old, brown hair, brown eyes, wearing a blue shirt and jeans. His last seen at 11:30. If anybody has any contact or has seen the child, please come to the law enforcement tent. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, this next stunt is simply known as Spank the Baby. Okay, hold on a second. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up one more time for the whip cracking daredevils, Lily, Benjamin, and Gabrielle. Thank you so much. Now, folks, this next trick is a sharpshooting trick. It's one of our favorites. We're going to bring it to you as we make a little cleanup here. This is a sharpshooting trick that is actually known as a parlor trick. It would have been attempted in a saloon or a bar room. And this is what would have happened. A man with a whip would have walked in. He would have asked for two things: a shot glass and a tumbler full of ice-cold sarsaparilla. Well, for today's show, I'm going to use a tumbler full of ice-cold water and a Dixie cup. And at this point, the whip cracker would have walked to a nearby table in that saloon. He would have set the shot glass down like so. Taken a quick drink to refresh himself. And then he would have rested that tumbler full of ice-cold sarsaparilla on top of that shot glass. Now, here's where he would have made the bet. He would have made a wager with somebody in that saloon that with that whip, typically 8 or 10 feet long, that he could knock that shot glass out from underneath that tumbler full of ice-cold sarsaparilla, land it to drop on the table without spilling any of his drink. So today, we're going to attempt this trick for you, but we're going to make it just a little bit more challenging, folks, a little bit more daring, because we're not going to use a whip that's 8 or 10 feet long. In fact, this whip isn't even 18 or 20 feet long. Folks, this whip is so big, we simply call her Big Mama. You do have a tangle. That's a big tangle. Well, I tell you. With a whip this long, folks, this is a never guaranteed a first-time shot. Here we go. They call her Big Mama because she's nearly 30 feet of whip cracking fun. You folks there might want to move back just a little bit. Ladies and gentlemen, if I missed the first time, we'll try it again. Now, these are not actually attempts to hit that target. It's just an attempt to build up a little suspense. Thank you, folks. And then, so you know, there weren't any shenanigans going on, like maybe there's no water in the cup at all. The whip cracker would have cooled off the back row over here. Thanks a lot, guys. Now for our last routine, I just need someone's help. I need, no. Oh wait, hold on. These two people are really eager. No, okay, I need both of you. Both of you. Come here, just for a second. Come here, both of you. Two longs. What are your names? Connor, how you doing, Connor? What is it? Carson, nice to meet you. Are you friends, brother, sister? Oh, this is going to be perfect, folks. You guys get along pretty well? No, this is going to be even better. Connor, I want you to stand right here. You're going to face your sister. Face your sister. Put your hands behind your back. Yes, ma'am. I need you to back up just a little bit. That's right. Protected by here. Sisters are always smarter. I know. There you go. Connor and Carson, I need you to look at each other, right into each other's eyes. Lean forward just a little bit. Perfect. Not so eager now, are you? Okay. Carson and Connor, move in until those two overlap, please. Right on. Keep coming in, keep coming in. All right, Carson, that's a little too close. Okay. I've never tried this before, so let's not get carried away. Ladies and gentlemen, I will attempt to cut both of these flowers at the same time when I am done. Do not move. Straighten them up just a little bit for me. Yeah! Now don't go anywhere, don't go anywhere. No high fives yet. We're not done, folks. Back where you were. Back where you were. I know you're just shorter. Don't worry, I'll take care of that. There's one. Okay, keep going. Boy, if these were my kids. Carson, yours is shorter.
We're still in conservation.
Tell you what, Carson, you back away. You stand up straight, lean over. Yeah. Face your sister, face your sister.
Can you hear a show going on with cracks? You know, like whip cracking? No.
After the surgery heals, they
W-H.
don't be a baby.
Yeah.
Words never
We're in
spoken like a true
conservation.
sister
We're
could.
over by the water watching the show. Okay, bye.
Give it up for the amazing Connor Carson, ladies and gentlemen. Please give him a big round of applause. Brought together. I noticed you're wearing a watch. Can I have that watch, please? Okay, do you have a wallet? 25 dog. I just need to know the time. Okay, it is now 12:47. Thank you, sir. That was very nice of you. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to call it Let's Leave It on the 12:47. We want to thank you guys for coming out. Remember, after the show, hop up there, grab yourself one of the delicious roast corn dogs, wash it down with some Pioneer caramel corn, and come back for Snow Cone from Snowbiz. Come see us at the Whip Guy Mercantile, where you can take home your very own postcards, Whip Guy Whips, t-shirts, and more. And check us out on Facebook and at thewhipguy.com. Thanks a lot, folks. I'm Chris Kid, the Whip Guy. Give it up for Whip Guy today. That was Benjamin, Lillian Rose, Gabrielle Lady, and of course, the lovely Laura. Thank you so much, guys. We're back at 2:30 and 5 o'clock. We'll see you then.